Factors of negative 90 that add to my middle term, which is 1.
10 and a negative 9.
Right on. 10 and negative 9. 10 and negative 9. These are my middle terms, so I got to make an x, put an x there. These combine to equal my middle term. Yes? Okay. These two combine to equal the middle term.
Oh, okay.
They always have to combine to equal the middle term. Okay, now you look at your first row. What can you pull out of both of those? 2x, right? I can pull a 2x out of both of these, correct? Now you go here and you say, what do I multiply 2x to get this area? 3x. What do I multiply 2x by to get 10x? 5. Then I got to look down. What do I multiply 3x by to get negative 9x? Negative 3. And this times this is that. Yes. No. Your factors have to be 3x plus 5 or 2x minus 3. What I would suggest, Courtney, is FOIL it and see if you do end up with that. Yeah, Sarah.
How do you know when like the numbers outside the box should be positive or negative?
So once you get them inside the box, right? Like the first one there, does it help you to pull out a negative? No. Doesn't, does it? So you just pull out positive. And then you're going to see what you multiply that by to get that. But here, down here, okay, so we had 3x, right? And what do we multiply 3x by to get negative 9x? This has to be negative 3.
Oh, okay.
And then these two end up equaling that. And we'll look at some more, okay? All right, try this one on your own. Try this one on your own right here, okay? Try it on your own.
Thank you. Like, you can't take anything other than, like, anything out of, like, 5 and 2, just be ones, like, all the time.
What do you mean, here?
Yeah, like, in the second row.
Here.
It looks like you can't take anything else out, is it just, like, always one?
Oh, yeah, if you set it up the other way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can divide out one out of anything, can't you? Yeah. So, did it work out when you did it? Yeah, okay. All right, let's do the last one real quick. It's not really anything different. We'll just work our way through it. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Factors of negative 21 that add to negative 20. Negative 21 and 1. That's what she's trying to say. Okay, then those are your middle terms. So you put x and 1x, and that's fine.
And then it's 7x.
And then you pull out a 7x from both of these. This would just be x. 7 times negative 3 is going to give me negative 21. This is just 1. So your factors are x minus 3. Okay. That is factoring when a is not 1. But you know we got to add some more onto this, don't we? Here we go. Now, your life will be a whole lot easier if you recognize perfect squares. Okay? Take a look. 81 and 25 are both perfect squares, aren't they? And there is no middle term. So, when that happens, set up your two binomials and try this first. What's the square root of 81?
9.
So I'm going to put 9x and 9x, because that together would give me 81x squared, wouldn't it? No middle term, I have a plus and a minus, because that cancels out the middle term. And then the square root of 25 is what? And you are done.
Wow, that was good.
So if you start to recognize these things, it makes your life easier.
I probably
I feel
won't
like
recognize
this
it.
is. We did this before.
Probably did. Okay,
7.
perfect square, perfect square. It doesn't matter what the middle term is. If these are perfect squares and you have a plus and a plus, you can do the same thing. 7z, 7z,
Oh, I forgot the one off of this.
plus and plus. What's the square root of 64?
8.
Oh, it's plus and plus?
Yeah, because this plus and plus here.
Oh.
Now you can just jump right to this if you want. You can jump right to that. If you see that, that's fine. Perfect squares, right? Perfect squares, plus and plus. So it's going to be plus all the way across. Square root of 49 is 7. 7z, 7z. 8, 8. You can jump right to this if you know it.
What happens to the middle term?
what about the middle
Multiply it
term?
out? Does it?
That sounds rather argumentative there.
Just like wondering.
Okay.
Okay, the next one's 3.
All right, now look, here's slightly different. We have a minus and a plus.
Oh.
If the middle term adds to be negative, and this is positive, that means that you have to have minus minus here. So, but we still have perfect squares here.
There we go.
So it's going to look like this. Square root of 9 is 3. 3r and 3r. But my middle term is negative, so I'm going to have a minus and a minus. Because,
It's 11.
think about it, negative 11 times negative 11 gives me a positive 121, correct? And then this will give me negative 66, so it works. So I could write it like this directly. I wish you could see some of your faces sometimes, it's great. Courtney, right?
I'm just like, you just have to see.
Okay. All right. Always, now this is what screws people up, I'll be honest with you. They just want to leap and do it. But hey, make your life easier. Just look at it. Look for perfect squares. Always, always, always check to see if you can factor something out first. Now the directions for something like this would be factor completely. Factor completely. So, before you do anything, can you divide something out of each of these?
Yes.
What?
3.
You undistribute, so you bring it out front. Oh, what else is in there?
1.
A perfect square.
Oh, look at
No middle term. So it's going to look like this. That's it. That's factored completely. Perfect square, no middle term, looks like that. Okay? That's it. What can I divide out of here? Shh, 4, let's do it. Okay, I'm divide out of 4. Do I have anything special going on there? Not really. Which means I have to do what?
box. Box day. Box day.
2m squared here, negative 30 here. When I multiply a and c, I get negative 60. I need factors of negative 60 that add to 7. I think we should always ask Rosie because she loves doing that.
Can you not?
It is 12 and negative 5, just in case you weren't sure. So 12m, negative, it does. Use your calculator if you need help. Okay?
Not all problems.
You're going to pull out a 2m and an m. I'm just finishing it quickly for you here so we can get this all done. Now, to write out the complete factoring, you have to include the 4 because it's sitting out there. It is a factor. It's part of what is needed to multiply through to get that. So you would write 4 times m plus 6 times 2m minus 5. That's your complete factorization right there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Ryan.
So it doesn't matter which one you
It just has to be in the front or in the back. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's what I did so bad.
Okay, here we go. Shh. Solve. Oh, now we're not just factoring. We have to solve for x.
Are you trying to
Find the zeros, the roots. Just factor and set each factor equal to 0. So, can I pull anything out of here?
No.
Got any perfect squares? No, so I got to do a box. I'll just tell you what it is here, okay? 4x squared, negative 15, negative 20x, and 3x. This is what you end up with when you do it. I'm just telling you. And then you pull out a 4x. Can you not read it?
Wait.
Okay. All right, so this is what I have. I have x minus 5 times 4x plus 3. I'm going to spend a moment on this. Algebra 2 students think they can do this in their head, and more often than not get it wrong, because they don't want to take just that little extra bit of time to figure out what x would be. This is easy. What is x here?
5.
Here they just put down 4/3. Oh. Set it equal to 0 and solve for x so you don't screw up. 4x equals negative 3.
Negative 4/3.
Negative 3/4. Divide both sides by 4. They don't want to do that and then often get it wrong. Okay? We have to do this one.
Well, we don't have
We have
Wow,
to.
this one looks less
We have to move
non
stuff around.
Okay, it's not in the right form. So here's the right form. 3y squared. I'm just going to go right to the correct form here. After you move stuff around, you get this. Okay, you move stuff around, you get that. Putting it in standard form before I can factor. Now, what do I need to do before I do anything?
divide by 3.
There's no perfect squares, but I can divide by 3.
There's a guess.
Good job. Pull out the 3. It sits out front here. And I get y squared plus 12y plus 36 equals 0.
We get points up.
Yeah, my fraction.
Wait, we don't really have to do any box, do we? Why? Look at it. It's a perfect square. It's a perfect square. So it would look like this. Some of you are like, what? Y plus 6 times y plus 6 is going to give me that.
So 1 is considered square.
Yeah, 1's a perfect square.
I guess.
Okay, now I'm supposed to set each factor equal to 0, but really, 3, this is irrelevant, isn't it? It's still a factor, but it's not going to be part of my answer. But I have 2 of these, which will give me the same thing, right? I have 2 of them. So it's just y equals negative 6, which means this, does that make sense? Okay. I say, oh, but there's a problem we're going to put on here.
I told you, math terrorists.
It's like waving a cookie in your face and taking it away. All right, so hey, I wouldn't give you this problem if there wasn't a reason to give it to you.
It's on that test.
Perhaps.
It's on our test.
The exact same one.
What page is this? I missed it.
You have made a rectangular quilt.
Did I receive one?
Wait, no, just stay with me. Shh. Okay, I'm going to talk you through this and then I'll be done. I'll wait.
Hush, children.
I'm waiting. You have a quilt that is 5 feet by 4 feet. You have 10 feet of fabric left over, and you want to add a border of exactly the same dimension all the way around. You don't know how big that border can be with that extra 10 feet. Hey, there's quilters in this world.
No, I crochet.
I make
Okay.
I make a quilt, but like I don't think about it.
So this is how you set it up.
I'm making a quilt out of
You have a quilt that's 5 by 4, correct? And then you have 10 feet of extra fabric, and you want to add a border. So you're going to draw a picture here. You're going to add a border, and that border is going to be X wide. You don't know what that X is. You need to find out. If it's X here, it's X here too, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's X here. All the way, it's X everywhere. Okay?
4x. Now I'm gonna dream about it.
Now,
It's 4x.
I'm going to write an expression for these side lengths with that extra border on. So I know that this is 5. And how many X's do I have?
There's 2 per corner.
5 plus 2x. That's this length. 5 plus 2x. And 4 plus 2x over here. This will help me get the total area. Correct? I can find the area of the border, which I know. I'll show you. I can find x by doing this. The area of the border equals the total area minus the quilt part. What?
Oh, I get it.
So watch. In this problem, they told us the area of the border. Does anybody remember what I said it was? How much fabric did we have left over to make a border? 10. We had 10 feet to make a border right there. So the area of the border is 10. The total area is this times this. 4 plus 2x times 5 plus 2x minus the area of the quilt part, which is what? What's 4 times 5?
20.
20 minus 20.
Dude, that's a little equation you got yourself.
That's right.
Now do you have to figure it out?
Yeah, that's what we just like that.
Yeah, so now you would have to FOIL, put it all in standard form. Take a look. Shh. You have to FOIL, which is what you do here. Then you put it in standard form, which is what you do here. Then you divide everything by 2. Factor.
Man, why is this so long?
And you get x equals 1/2 and x equals -5. -5 doesn't work, does it?
No, that doesn't work.
So this would be 1/2 foot or 6 inches.
You could have just measured out a half foot and just done it. And went and bought
But you want to use your total 10 feet of fabric.
Use